So here we go with another headset review, and this time it's a super interesting and super expensive one with the Meta Quest Pro. Full disclosure, Meta did send out a headset for me to review, however it got super delayed in shipping, so I went out and bought my very own headset so I could cover it for you all on the channel. As always, no money has been exchanged and Meta don't get to preview this review prior to it going live. Now, I've spent a lot of time in this headset over the past week, and I can tell you now, the Meta Quest Pro is a real mixed bag, and definitely not what I expected for such a premium priced product. But let's get started and let me show you what comes inside the box. So the Meta Quest Pro retails for $1,499 US, 1,499 British pounds, and comes in a single model which has 256 gigabytes of internal storage. Inside the box, you get the Quest Pro headset, 2 Quest Pro controllers, a charging dock, a 2-meter USB-C to USB-C charging cable, a 1-meter USB-C charging cable for a single Pro controller to use when traveling, a protective cover for the front of the headset, 2 soft rubber light blockers, a cleaning cloth, a quick start guide with warranty information, stylus tips for the controllers, and finally a cable clip for the headset. Everything inside the box feels premium, but the box itself feels pretty cheap. It would have been nice to have the headset come in some kind of useful protective carry case, a bit like the original Oculus DK1. I would have also liked to have seen a full 5-meter link cable included in the box, as the 2-meter USB-C cable provided can only be used for charging. The Quest Pro headset definitely looks like it means business. It's super sleek and futuristic looking with its glass front faceplate and 3 cameras giving me some serious Sam Fisher vibes. Inside the headset sits 2 LCD panels which offer a resolution of 1800 by 1920 pixels per eye, running up to 90 Hz with a horizontal field of view of 106 degrees. Now, these new displays actually provide a lower resolution than the Quest 2, but Meta claim these new displays have 75% more contrast, providing richer and more vibrant colors. But more on that later. The big improvement in the display stack comes from the newly designed pancake lenses. Just like on the Pico 4, these pancake lenses allow for the form factor to be much smaller and also offer improvements to the overall visual clarity. The Quest Pro features a whopping 10 sensors in total, 5 on the front for inside-out tracking and full-color pass-through, and 5 on the inside for eye and face tracking. Although you wouldn't necessarily notice the sensors on the inside, as they're very cleverly hidden by these glossy sections in the center and surrounding the lenses. Powering the Quest Pro is a Snapdragon XR2 Plus chipset from Qualcomm, paired with 12 gigabytes of RAM. When turning the headset on for the first time, it guides you through the setup process and shows you how to wear the headset correctly. But unfortunately, this is a bit of a mess. Unlike the Quest 2's robust 3-step IPD adjustment system, the Quest Pro lenses can be easily and freely moved around, providing a claimed IPD range between 55 and 75 millimeters. However, when adjusting the lenses, you're only shown a value inside the headset between 59 and 71 millimeters. Meta state that the value you see inside the headset is actually the value between the clearest spots in the lenses, and it's not an IPD value. So you're kind of left in the dark as to what the best setting is for you. For a headset that features eye tracking, I was really disappointed to not see this being leveraged to assist users in setting their exact IPD value, as this is absolutely critical for a clear and comfortable experience. Another issue I had with this IPD adjustment system is that because the lenses can be moved around so freely, I often found myself accidentally knocking them out of place when taking the headset off, meaning I would have to realign them every time I put the headset back on. Moving on though, the rest of the process was pretty straightforward, although you do have to take the headset off during the setup to download and install the Meta Quest mobile app to create or log into a Meta account. As I already had the app installed and a Meta account set up, I was up and running in just a matter of minutes. However, the headset and controllers needed a full charge before I could properly use them. When it comes to headset battery life, the Quest Pro will last around 2.5 hours of use, although you can extend the battery life a little further by turning off the eye and face tracking, which you can do in the system menu. To fully charge the headset, it takes around 2 hours, which you can do directly using a USB-C cable in the side of the headset, or you can place it into the provided charging dock. Initially, I thought the dock was a really cool feature, but when actually using it, you really have to ensure the headset and controllers are perfectly aligned with the charging pins and wait for confirmation that they're being charged with the LED status lights on the top, as I sometimes found it can take a couple of attempts to get everything to sit correctly in the dock. Also, whilst on the subject of the dock, if you use the protective headset cover or you install the optional $50 full light blocker accessory, the headset no longer fits inside the dock, meaning you have to remove both of these accessories prior to charging. So now with the Quest Pro and controllers fully charged, I can actually spend some time inside the headset. Now, comfort is a subjective topic, and everyone will be different. However, personally, I found the Quest Pro to be quite uncomfortable, and over the course of my week of testing, I experienced multiple headaches, which is extremely rare for me, and made testing this headset for long periods of time a very unpleasant experience. I initially thought this might be due to the headset's refresh rate, IPD being set incorrectly, or the lenses, but it actually came down to the Pro's head strap design. The Quest Pro does have good weight balance due to the battery being located at the back of the head strap, but the weight distribution at the front is all directly placed on the forehead. With the Quest 2, the weight is spread evenly over the cheeks and forehead with a face cushion, but you just don't get that support with the Quest Pro, as it kinda just hangs off the forehead instead. Unfortunately, other than having major skull reconstructive surgery, there's not really much I can do about this, as the head strap on the Pro is completely fixed in place, meaning it can't be customized with third-party head straps. For those that wear glasses in VR, there is an eye relief dial at the front of the headset, so you can easily make space to accommodate your glasses, but just know that prescription lens inserts from the Quest 2 won't fit in the Pro, as the lenses are just so much bigger. So moving on from comfort, let's talk about Passthrough. When I initially tried Color Passthrough on the Pico 4, I was really impressed with just how useful Passthrough had become. I could easily find my controllers, grab a drink, or even tell the time, and I assumed the experience with the Quest Pro, a headset 3 times the price of the Pico 4, would be even better. But sadly, I was wrong. The pass-through on Quest Pro just straight up doesn't look good. It's kinda grainy, white objects look overexposed, and it has this strange looking warping effect to it when moving around. The pass-through is handled by 2 black and white cameras on the front faceplate, with the single camera in the center providing the color overlay. You can see what happens here when I physically block these cameras and things start to look super weird. But this pass-through is depth correct, so unlike the Pico 4, the Quest Pro can be used for mixed reality, and this is where the Quest Pro starts to shine. In my testing, I tried a bunch of mixed reality games and experiences, such as I Expect You to Die Home Sweet Home from Shell Games. In this experience, you start off in this wooden crate which you melt away, and then you find yourself in your own home environment, which has been sabotaged by the evil Xeraxis Corporation. It was really impressive scanning my office walls and finding hidden objects inside. This free experience only lasts around 5 minutes and is available for both the Quest Pro and Quest 2 if you want to go and try this out for yourself. Another highlight for me was playing Demio in mixed reality. You could place the game board anywhere in your room and seamlessly move between the real world and the virtual one. Without the light blockers installed, you benefit from seeing the real world in your peripheral vision, which does match up exactly to what you're seeing inside the headset. Although, like I said earlier, the pass-through quality just isn't that great. And finally, I checked out Cubism using both mixed reality and hand tracking combined, which provided a completely unique gameplay experience. Aside from gaming, I also experimented with Immersed, a mixed reality productivity application where you can overlay your real-world environment with multiple virtual screens with remote access to your PC. It's a really cool concept, but I just don't feel like the resolution on the Quest Pro is good enough for me to want to spend any serious amount of time working in a virtual environment like this. And this brings me nicely onto the displays and lenses. For me, when comparing the visual experience side by side with the Quest 2, the resolution, black levels and colors just don't look that different for me. It's also worth noting that the Pro can only run up to 90Hz, whereas the Quest 2 can run up to 120Hz in select applications. The only real improvement, in my opinion, is the lenses. The pancake lenses on the Quest Pro are just fantastic. They have these massive sweet spots, they're completely clear, which means they benefit from reduced glare and God rays when compared to traditional Fresnel lenses. They have good edge-to-edge clarity, although they do have some very slight distortion on the far edges, but it's not really noticeable unless you're really looking for it. When testing the headsets side by side in Test HMD, the clarity of the image was slightly better on the Pro when compared to the Quest 2, but not as clear as my testing with the Pico 4. This is understandable though, as the Pico 4 does have a higher resolution. When it comes to field of view, the Pro is practically the same as the Quest 2 vertically, but has a bit wider field of view horizontally. So just like with the Pico 4, I was really impressed with the pancake lenses on the Pro, and I just hope more VR headsets follow suit by using these pancake lenses in the future. Although the Quest Pro is a headset primarily aimed at business and mixed reality applications, it can also play native VR games as it has access to the same store that's available on the Quest 2. So games like Resident Evil 4 VR can be played just fine, although I wouldn't say there's really any difference when it comes to the visual quality or the game's performance. There is one exception to this though, and that is Red Matter 2 by Vertical Robot. They've just recently updated the game to take full advantage of the Quest Pro's eye tracking to enable dynamic foveated rendering. This allows the headset to only render exactly what your eyes are looking at in the highest quality, whilst reducing the quality on the outside of your vision, therefore increasing the game's resolution up to 30%. Just like with my experience with the PSVR 2, when this is working, you don't notice it's working, it's just like magic. Red Matter 2 was already an amazing looking game when played natively on the Quest 2, but this version on the Pro looks even better, and hopefully this is just a sign of things to come with the upcoming Quest 3 if it supports eye tracking in the future. When it comes to playing PC VR games on the Quest Pro, it's the same setup as the Quest 2. You can use a link cable, or you can use AirLink or Virtual Desktop to play completely wirelessly. When using a link cable, as of right now, you have to join the public test channel in the Oculus desktop application, as I found it doesn't support the Quest Pro in its current public build. When it comes to playing PC VR content wirelessly, the Quest Pro does support Wi-Fi 6, but for some reason, this won't be enabled until early 2023. In my testing using Virtual Desktop on the Pro when compared to the Quest 2, I noticed a 50% reduction in wireless transmission speeds. According to Guy Godin, the developer of Virtual Desktop, this is an issue with how the Pro handles Wi-Fi DFS channels, and I'm hoping this gets resolved with an update in the future. It's such a shame that eye tracking with dynamic foveated rendering isn't compatible when using the Quest Pro with a PC right now, but I really hope this will be available in the future, as it could provide a real performance boost when playing your favorite PC VR content. Gaming aside though, as this headset is for business and productivity after all, I did test Meta's own productivity app called Horizon Workrooms. This is also available for free on the Quest 2. I have to say, it took Nathy and I around 35 minutes to figure out how to get a room set up for us to meet up and collaborate. It just wasn't intuitive at all. Workrooms insists on a desktop application being downloaded and installed on your PC before others can even invite you into their workspace. Once set up though, you can collaborate and share your PC screens with each other. While it was kind of fun to meet up, watch some YouTube videos together, and doodle on a whiteboard, I struggled to see how this application would make anyone any more productive. It's certainly not seamless or intuitive to set up. One of the key features of the Quest Pro is its built-in eye and face tracking to provide more realistic social interactions. Your eye's gaze and your facial movements are all translated onto your avatar in real time. You can raise your eyebrows, puff out your cheeks, frown, be sad or be happy, and this will all be mirrored on your avatar. For those of you that are wondering, there's no tongue tracking available right now. Eye and face tracking definitely adds to the feeling of being more present with your friends in VR, but this also relies on them, of course, having a Quest Pro as well. Playing around with a few of my content creator buddies that did have Pro headsets led to some genuinely hilarious social interactions. Right now, this tech is limited to applications that use Meta avatars, but I really hope Meta open this up to native third-party applications such as VR Chat, Rec Room, and more. Although some super smart people in the VR community have already got the eye and face tracking working in VR Chat on PC. The passion and dedication from this community will never cease to amaze me. When it comes to audio, the Quest Pro has some amazing speakers built into the head strap. Definitely an improvement over Quest 2. They provide lovely, clear audio with a lot of low-end presence, which sounds fantastic. Although everyone around you will also be able to hear what you're up to. If you want a more discreet audio experience, headphones do fit over the head strap just fine, and you can use them with either one of the two 3.5mm headphone jacks. Meta do have an earbuds audio accessory that plugs directly into both headphone jacks, like the original Quest earbuds did back in the day. If you're curious as to what the 3 microphone array sounds like on the Quest Pro, here's a little recording. This is what the built-in microphone on the Meta Quest Pro sounds like. And this is what the Quest 2's microphone sounds like for comparison. Moving on to something that I really loved about the Quest Pro, and that's the new Pro controllers. These things are completely crazy. They ditched the traditional tracking rings, and instead, each controller features a Snapdragon 662 processor, along with 3 sensors for inside-out tracking. As they don't rely on the headset to track them, you can actually put both controllers behind your back, and they'll be fully tracked, no problem. This might be useful in first-person shooters if you wanted to shoot an enemy behind you whilst looking straight ahead, for example. The controllers feel nice and weighty in the hands, they feature higher fidelity and more powerful haptic feedback motors, which are an improvement over Quest 2's haptics, particularly when gaming. The internal rechargeable batteries should last up to 8 hours of use before needing to be recharged. These controllers will be available to purchase separately, and Meta have confirmed they will be compatible with the Quest 2. However, at $300, as much as I like them, I wouldn't say they're worth the price to upgrade over the Quest 2's standard touch controllers. My only gripe with the Pro controllers is that they can take a little while to start up when first putting the headset on. 10 seconds doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're used to the Quest 2 controllers being instantly responsive, it feels like an eternity in comparison. So here's my conclusion. The Quest Pro has a few really nice features, such as the sleek design, the big clear pancake lenses, the mixed reality pass-through, eye and face tracking, along with some really cool controllers. But for me, it's just not comfortable. The resolution and processor are pretty much the same as the Quest 2, so it doesn't feel like the worthy upgrade in performance to justify the high price tag as a consumer. For business, it's a tricky one, because most of the productivity apps I tried with the Quest Pro required the use of a PC to get the most out of them. Which kind of raises an interesting question: why did this headset need to be standalone? If this headset had been a tethered PC-based headset for business, it could have eliminated most of its shortcomings. It could have been lighter, making it more comfortable. Battery life wouldn't have been an issue, it wouldn't be held back by the Snapdragon processor, the resolution could have been much higher, and dynamic foveated rendering using eye tracking could have pushed PC VR graphics to a whole new level. And it makes me think about Volvo and them using VR and MR to help with the design of their cars. This kind of intricate and detailed design work demands the absolute highest quality, and that's why they use a headset like the super expensive Vario XR3 paired with an ultra high-end PC. My guess is that Meta had to go down the standalone route with the Quest Pro because they pretty much abandoned their PC platform 3 years ago, which leaves them in an awkward position having to push a standalone headset forward for business use cases, which I feel it's just not ready for. In many ways, the Quest Pro kind of feels like a dev kit right now. Maybe Microsoft's suite of tools will add some much needed value to the Quest Pro, maybe some system updates will improve the experience, or maybe this headset is just the necessary first step to get Meta to where they want to go. It's clear Meta want people to be productive and work in VR and MR in the future, and I have no doubt they'll eventually get there, but in my opinion, they just don't offer the seamless experience or the compelling reason to do so right now. So that's my review of the Meta Quest Pro. It's just not as exciting as it should be for this price. Even for businesses, in my opinion, because in its current state, there's just no way I'd actually want to do any work in this thing, and that comes from me, someone that's super passionate about VR and a long-time VR enthusiast. Although I probably won't be using the Quest Pro much, I will be keeping this thing around just in case we get any interesting updates or applications in the future, so I can cover them on the channel. But if it wasn't for the fact that I do run a VR channel, I would be returning this thing to get my money back. If you're here and you're interested in gaming, as you can probably guess, I wouldn't recommend buying a Pro for gaming, and instead I would suggest you wait for the Quest 3, which Meta have announced that they're going to be talking about more next year, or alternatively, I would look into the PSVR 2. Personally, that's the VR headset that's coming soon that I'm most excited about. But of course, all of this stuff is just my opinion. Feel free to let me know what you all think in the comments below, and particularly if you're a business or individual that plans to use the Quest Pro, I want to know from real people how a headset like this can help them be more productive over using traditional PCs, monitors, and design tools, as personally, I just can't see it right now. Also, if you happen to have any burning questions, anything I didn't cover in the video, then put your questions in the comments below and I'll try my very best to answer as many questions as I can. Leave a little like if you found the video useful and you appreciate the discomfort that I went to make this review for you all. Make sure you're subscribed for all my future content, and as always, I'll see you all on the next one. Cheers.